Welcome back to Brands Hatch after the third and final Bennetts British Superbike Championship race of the weekend, and back on the podium for Lamy OMG Racing Yamaha, Ryan Vickers. Ryan, fantastic weekend for you. Fair to say you're best in your Superbike career to date so far. Talk us through it, and especially that last race because it was intense. There was 5 of you in that lead group, but it went right down to the finish.
Yeah, just so happy. It's been an amazing weekend. It's quite funny. It's been my worst circuit in my Superbike career. I've said that a few times. I've had some of the biggest crashes of my life, and yeah, bleeding on the brain and all sorts of stuff. It's been a real tough circuit for me, and to turn it around and have my best Superbike career weekend is amazing, and just shows the frame of mind the team's putting me in, the bike and everything that I'm getting from riding with the Lamy OMG racing team. They're doing a fantastic job, and it's the environment. They're amazing guys, and loving every minute. And that last race was actually probably the best race of my career, most enjoyable. Wow, we had to work hard for that. I've never been on the limit so much in my life. But actually enjoyable and controlled. I was making moves on people, and that's been the hardest thing for me this whole weekend, and pretty much every weekend I've been up the front, is actually passing the guy in front of me with a little bit of a speed disadvantage. It makes it very, very hard to actually overtake, because all I do on the brakes is catch the gap that I've lost. So yeah, I put myself in some really good positions today, and probably some of the hardest places to pass on the circuit, but that was the only place I could pass, and we made, I think, three or four clean moves there, as clean as they could be anyway. Bearing in mind it's a tight corner, but yeah, phenomenal racing from everybody at the front. We've been battling it out all weekend, and yeah, it's just great to come away with 2 podiums, a win, and a 3rd place. Just so happy, and can't thank the team and everybody enough. It's been enjoyable.
Congratulations, Ryan.
Thank you. Cheers.
And returning to the podium for Beer Monster Ducati for the first time this weekend, it's Glenn Owen. Glenn, it's fair to say it's been a tough weekend for you, so you must feel happy to be able to finish on a high on the podium and being right in the battle for the win right to the finish.
Yeah, and probably the most important track to show you have pace to fight for the win, because when we come back here at the end of the year, I think is there 105 points up for grabs over 3 races. So yeah, I felt really good on Friday. We didn't show our hand, and I learned a lot from Tommy at Snetterton. He worked a lot on rhythm, and the good thing I always say we're very different but very similar, and he's like me, he opens his mouth, so he told everyone about how well he worked at Snetterton, and I was like, what did he do at Snetterton? So we analysed, and yeah, we came here with an approach that I learnt from him. At the minute he's doing a great job, and that's a compliment to him by saying that. So yeah, I felt really good. The first race was wet, really slippy. We both struggled. I was poor. I got saved by the half race thing. Lost probably less than what I think I would have lost in a normal circumstance in a wet race to him. But in the first race today, I felt we had a good ride from 14th, and the bike just felt like so much not like my bike. And on the data, I'm not bore people, but like 20, 25, 30 mil of a difference in every corner compared to yesterday. So we put it down to maybe the track, well, not maybe, after a lot of rain, we lost a lot of rubber, and for my style, the bike just didn't feel like yesterday at all. So that race there was much nicer. Got into a nice position. Obviously, I touched on it a few times, but Jason nerfed me at turn 1, and I don't say any more than that. I'm just a bit disappointed, because he clearly seen me. There's no need to drive. It's a dangerous time to drive into someone, because there is 25 Superbikes behind you, and I wouldn't deliberately drive into someone. Lunging on the brakes is different when you're trying everything to get stopped. So that lit the fuse in a good way. Shaky's been a big help to me a lot, and some things working on calmness, and I just used that for some fire in the belly, but calculated. Had a great ride with Tommy. At mid-race, I probably felt like I could have passed him, but he was saving his tyre, so I didn't. What was the point? I guess what you learn there at this level, it's so competitive, and if there is the one chance to pass, you got to do it. I felt like I set him up perfect. Turn 4 was my strong area. It was a bit to and fro. Turn 4 was my strong area, and I nailed it. The big issue there was controlling wheelie for everyone, and I didn't get the wheelie and got the gas down and mint on his back wheel and pulled out. And a bit like I probably sound like a MotoGP rider now, but pulling out, I think because there's a downhill, we don't really notice it on Snetterton where it's flat. The turbulence you get, like you go from going forward and about to be beside his foot to being a bike behind, you know, in a massive thing. So I was like, how? I tried it twice, and every time I pulled out, it was what it was. But yeah, really enjoyable. Ryan was riding excellent too, and that made it fun because I could never relax. There was no option to settle for second. It had to be to fight at Tommy because Ryan was still fighting at me. As soon as you relax, you're getting past. But yeah, a 1-2 for the team. I've said it many times. Paul Bird deserves that. The whole family, Frank Bird, you know, he's a big silent part of it, I guess. And yeah, grateful to everyone that makes this happen, and you know, to my entire family. My son's here, first time he's been at a race this year, and it's so nice to have him here. And kids are away getting the girls are away getting minded, and Laura's had 2 nights in a spa hotel, which she really deserves. So I should go home to well, it's not my wife yet, but you know, happy wife, happy life. Should go home to a quite refreshed wife, and let's see if we can celebrate like the boys in the 80s would have back in the day, and keep her up another hour or two when I get home. Oh, I didn't mean to keep her up. That sounds terrible. You know, excuse the pun, but yeah, keep her up.
And the Monster Energy King of Brands for Beer Monster Ducati is Tommy Bridewell. Tommy, earlier on you scored your first race win at Brands Hatch. You followed it up with a double, but that looked like a tough race. It really was a fight to the finish, but you come out on top, another double win. Talk us through it.
Yes, good weekend. In all, you know, and no matter what, to get one British Superbike race win is an achievement because of the calibre of riders and teams and everything. So again, to get another, you know, to back it up with another win here and to get 5 wins out of the last 6 races is just showing how confident I am, how good I feel within myself, within the bike, and just how strong my team is, to be honest. So really proud of what we're achieving at the minute. I need to pronounce my words properly, don't I? Yeah, just enjoying, you know, just genuinely enjoying my racing, really thinking a lot more when I'm riding the bike. And it makes a big difference, you know, because when I'm thinking, I'm understanding, I'm learning, I'm just analysing everything, how my bike's working, how I can improve, how I can go faster. But yes, in that race, I knew Glenn was gonna come with me because he was starting obviously further up the grid in that race, and he's not silly. I knew that he was just going to sit behind me. In truth, I was quite surprised he didn't pass me earlier on. I think if the shoe was on the other foot, certainly I would have to have broke my rhythm. But I also knew that whenever I would have made an overtake, it was only 1 lap before I then saw G. Irwin on my pit board plus 0. So I knew what he was up to. And honestly, I think it made a big difference, me knowing that, because I knew he would try and adapt my tactic. So I knew that if I could just maintain a very strong pace, which I did, going into the last sort of lap or 2 laps really, I thought, right, I'll push on a bit harder and see if I can generate a small gap. That didn't happen. And then coming on to the last lap, honestly, I felt so good on the bike and I felt like I was riding so within myself. I didn't really defend because I didn't feel like I needed to, because I knew that if I was able to just hit my markers, brake where I was braking, accelerate where I was accelerating, I knew my last lap would be a very low 26. And it's testament to the way myself and my side of the garage are working through the Fridays. We've really adapted a different style this last 2 rounds, and it just makes life so much easier come race day. Like, you know, at the time you might not think so, but the information in the data we're getting is all for Saturday afternoon and Sunday, and yeah, genuinely it makes my life so much easier in these races because, dare I say it, I normally find it a lot more physical, but I feel like I could go and do another race again. So yeah, great effort. Lovely to win the King of Brands Monster Energy Trophy. That was probably going to be your next question, but I'm answering it anyway. And yeah, just got to keep this momentum going and just keep the faith, really. So yeah, I feel good.
And how is Tommy Bridewell going to celebrate?
Tommy Bridewell is... I need to just save that, really. No, I was going to swear then, but I can't. I'm going to celebrate... I don't know, should I go abroad? I don't know. I might go and play a bit of golf or something. But I've got to be careful because my wife's behind the camera, so I can't say to her, I'm going to go and buy this and that. I normally buy it and then tell her after. So yeah, keep my mouth shut.
No tractors this week. Congratulations, Tommy.
Oh, I didn't say no tractors. Cheers, guys.